Everyone sees football as the dream, but not everyone understands the journey behind it. The pressure, the sacrifice, the reality people don't talk about. Today, I'm sitting down with someone who has lived that journey. Someone who represented Nigeria in the Under 17 World Cup in 2001 in Trinidad and Tobago. Today, I'm with Omonigho Temile. Welcome to Beyond the Boots.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
So, Temile, tell us, who was Temile before football?
Temile is a, regular kid born in Warri, Delta State, who love football. That's what we do in Warri. So it's just a regular thing. When you're born there, you just have no choice than to love football.
Nice, nice. So when did that love actually start?
Well, the love actually starts when we are so young, going to watch we have a lot of youth teams over there. So the competition and the standard of football was so high then in Warri. So grow up watching the lives of Wisin Oruma playing. So it just gives you inspiration that you need to just try and play the game and enjoy the way they did.
Nice, nice. So did you always believe that when you started, like you could go pro, or was it just something you hoped for?
Yeah, because in Warri when you play, you see yourself because there's no shortcut, there's no two ways about it. When you play, people see you and they will let you know that you're gonna be something in football. So that's how we grow up right there in football.
So growing up, what was the hardest parts playing football? What hardship did you face?
Man, the hardest part, that I really face playing is, sometimes we don't even have money to buy good soccer shoes to play, and we don't have a good field to play on, but still, we scramble it. We did what we are gotta do, but that is the really hardest part when you're coming up and you don't have the resources to succeed in what you love to do.
So tell us about the time you signed your first contract before you went to represent Nigeria for the World Cup in 2001.
Well, how it is now. Back then in the days, where you go to screening different teams, you got like maybe 200 100 people, everybody trying to battle it out. They're only going to pick like 35, 40. So once your name is called, and once you prove yourself, your name is called, well, you just have opportunity to go in there and do your negotiations and sign it, the way they do it back in the days. So but it's great. When I signed my first contract, it was with Franja FC, but it was really, really nice. I was so happy.
So what was the feeling when they called you to come represent Nigeria in the Under 17 World Cup in 2001? How did you feel?
Oh, that was the best day of my life. I couldn't sleep. I was in camp, and they just called me like, oh, we want you to come to the camp, under 17 camp in Eku, in Delta State then. So they saw me play a league match and they loved me, and stuff like that. The coach was like, can you come? We want to see you more. I was so happy. I cannot even imagine like what it's like. It's the greatest day in my life, going in the camp, and they gave me my green and green, and it was so joyful. That was really, really one touching moment for me in my career.
Yeah, so growing up in Nigeria as as football players, one thing we all hope for was to represent Nigeria, and here Omonigho Temile did that. He played in the World Cup in 2001 in Trinidad and Tobago. So after playing in the World Cup, then what was next?
Well, after playing in the World Cup, you know, we took silver, and I know I had a great World Cup, so I was just hoping that a team in Europe saw me and, you know, trying to contact me so that my major thing is go there, showcase my talent, and have opportunities to go to Europe and play, you know. So that was something I put in back of my mind going back to Nigeria. When I went back to Nigeria, I went to my team and, you know, just wait for a call, and the rest is history. That was something I really look back to when I was going back to Nigeria.
So after you went back to Nigeria, did you get that call you was hoping for? A team called you. Did you go to Europe?
Yeah, it took a while, you know, after the World Cup. Yeah, I got some calls, you know, got some calls here and there, and, you know, I was so happy. Then yeah, I got like one or two calls, and, you know, the teams really they showed up, and, you know, we went there, and that was a very good moment. I was so happy. That's when I know I did really well in the World Cup.
Okay, so what country did you travel to?
Well, first of all, I traveled to France. You know, I went to France first. I went to Strasbourg, but you know, it didn't work out. Then I came back. Then I went to Bulgaria, to Chernomore. So they loved me. So that's how I started playing my European professional career in Bulgaria. Signed for Chernomore.
So talking about Bulgaria, because I too played in Bulgaria. So did you experience? Was there any part where you experienced racism?
Yeah, when we went to Bulgaria 2002 January, yeah, you know, it was really those people, they have not seen like too much black people. So yeah, we experienced a lot of racism. Even when you walk on the street, it's not easy. So yeah, we experienced a lot of racism there.
Okay, so I know you played after Chernomore. You played for Levski Sofia, and you played in the was it the UEFA
UEFA, yeah.
UEFA European League?
Yes.
So how did that feel playing? What big team did you play against?
That's so sweet. Um, yeah, I signed for Levski, and, you know, Levski is a big team in Bulgaria. One of the biggest team in Bulgaria, and they always play yeah, UEFA tournament. You know, either the Champions League or the UEFA competition. So, well, we managed that year to, you know, go as far to almost the quarterfinals in the UEFA competition. So we played against Liverpool. That's one of the big teams. Then was like Michael Owen was there. That's 2004. Steven Gerrard, Laji Diop, Milan Barros. So, you know, it was really nice. It was like so good feeling when we play in Anfield. It's something extraordinary. That was nice.
So that was like a dream come true.
Of course, it's a dream come true because you see it. It look like it's a reality.
Nice. So Omonigho Temile, tell me, what was the hardest part of your football career?
Yeah, the hardest part of my football career is when I was going to Europe the first time, you know, when I went to sign in Bulgaria. You know, that was the hardest because it was, you know, lonely. I was homesick, you know, and you know, we have to live. We were young. We have to live with some people, you know. So it was very difficult, and, you know, we just came out from Nigeria from the World Cup, young man, and you don't know nothing about, you know, racism. You don't know nothing about what's really going on. So I think that was the hardest part. So I have to learn, you know, very quick.
So at some point, like, did you feel like you wanted to quit?
Yeah, football is not easy, man. It's not easy. It's really, you know, you have to be really dedicated, and you have to, you know, put your whole heart to it, because sometimes when you finish playing, sometimes if you don't play a good game and the pressure, start to come, stuff like that. Sometimes you will just feel like, oh, I don't think I can do this. But yeah, if it's what you love, but you need to carry on and stay going, and do your thing.
So now I know like not everybody gets the opportunity to get a second chance. So this is beyond the Bulls life after football. And not everybody gets a second chance to live a normal life. So right now you live in America. So what do you do right now?
Well, when I came to America, I did some, jobs. I work here and there, But right now, I have my own business, so things is going on well, and I love it. And America is a nice place to stay. It's relaxed. It's no too much, pressure and stuff like that. When you finish playing soccer, the pressure that comes with in Nigeria. So I'm living a normal life. I love it. That's what I really hope for, and I thank God for that.
So like most of the guys you played with back in your days, like do you still do, where are they right now? Are they living okay? Are they like going through hardship? Like what are they doing? Do you still have communication with them?
I do have communication with some of them, but not all. And it is football in Nigeria. The moment you stop and you do not invest well, or you not put things together for yourself, it's going to be difficult, because it's what we're crying about every day, every time. Ex players in Nigeria, ex internationals, there's no platform, there's no really structure for them. Once you finish playing, you're just on your own. So yeah, it's kind of hard for some of them. I do assist some of them sometimes. We talk, I try to encourage them, stuff like that. But they're really going through it. It's not easy, but we thank God for everything. I hope that Nigerian FA one day will look onto this issue about ex players and create a very strong platform that will, make people in Nigeria, if you finish playing soccer and strategize with them, put them in the program, stuff like that, and make them have a good living after playing soccer, especially when you represent the country.
Okay. So do you miss football?
Yeah, I do miss football, but I do play every Saturday though, so it's not easy. But I missed it. I missed the crowd. I missed, I missed the stadiums and everything. It was some kind of feeling, especially when I played in Liverpool against Liverpool Football Club. That was exceptional. So I do miss it, but it is what it is, and once you're done, you're done. So at the end of the day, I thank God for everything, for what God has done for me.
Nice. So if you could do it again, what would you do differently?
If I could do it again, what will I do differently is I will work hard, very hard. I have the talent, but I was not uh, like have the mindset that talent is not enough. You need to put the hard work. If I could have worked more harder, I would like achieve what my talent is. I would have grown more than what I did. The clubs I played and something like that. I could have come out too, but I could have worked very hard. That is what I could have done.
So for all those people watching right now, for all the young guys that want to play football, so what advice would you give them, like if they have the opportunity to go pro?
Well, the advice I will give to them is one thing is you need to know what you want to do. If you really want to play football, you need to put your heart to it. You need to work hard, because you need to work hard. You need to be humble. You need to really say, this is what I want to do, and chase your dream, and get it out of you. Work hard and be humble. So my advice to them is just stay humble, work hard, and leave the rest. People will see your hard work, and it will pay off at the long run.
But like African players, they don't really, because of their passports, it's hard to see them. So how do you think people gonna see them when they don't have the opportunity to travel that much because of visa issues?
Yeah, it's a little much better now because right now they have too many sporting scouting programs everywhere. So if you need to know where you are, your location, and you need to know if the people you with, so that you can tap on one of these these scouting programs. Yeah, their passport is an issue, but it is what it is. We from Africa, and if you really want to go play abroad in Europe, you just need to make yourself available, get in these scouting programs, try to work hard. They will always see you. With hard work, I think, and you get in these scouting programs, I think they're gonna see you, and once you picked them, you're good. They will always get you your visa and every traveling document. So I think that is just one of the things you really need to look out for when you're there playing in Africa.
Okay, Omonigho Temile, I appreciate you for stopping by today. Thank you for sharing with us. This is life after football, the untold stories, what people don't see. After the pitch, there is always real life that comes after. And not everybody gets the opportunity for a second chance. Not everybody gets the opportunity to start over, to create a business. So we're here to tell the untold stories. This is Beyond the Boots. Thank you, Antemile. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. My pleasure, man. Thanks.